Have you ever found yourself deeply consumed by thoughts of someone only after they were no longer part of your daily life? It's an ironic truth about human relationships. We often fail to recognize someone's full value until they're gone. What if I told you this is not only a universal experience, but also one that offers profound lessons about connection, gratitude, and self-awareness? Let's explore the heart of this paradox. When people start missing you the most, it's not during grand, obvious moments. It sneaks up on them. It's when their world feels quieter, emptier, or more challenging in your absence. It's when their once familiar routines are disrupted, or when life's highs and lows feel oddly incomplete without you. This dynamic reveals the deeper truths about human nature, relationships, and the stoicism of enduring bonds. Why is this important? Because understanding these moments doesn't just help us make sense of others' actions, it transforms how we approach relationships, allowing us to live with greater purpose, resilience, and emotional intelligence. This isn't about playing games or chasing fleeting emotions. It's about unlocking a profound shift in how we connect with and value the people around us. Today, we're diving into the 5 key moments when they start missing you the most. We'll uncover how these experiences unfold and offer insights into living with deeper awareness, inspired by Stoic relationships and the timeless principles of Stoicism. Are you ready to reflect on your past, challenge your present, and create a future filled with more meaningful connections? Let's begin. 1. When their world feels empty without you. Have you ever considered how much of your presence fills the spaces in someone else's world? You might think it's the big gestures or significant events that define your value in their life, but more often, it's the small, consistent contributions you make without even realizing it. It's the moments when you brighten their day with a laugh, share a quiet conversation, or simply exist as a reassuring constant in their routine. But here's the catch. People rarely notice these things while they're happening. It's only after you're gone that they start to feel the void you leave behind. This is when their world feels empty without you, when your absence becomes a glaring contrast to the fullness you once brought into their life. Imagine the subtle ways you've been a part of someone's day. Perhaps it was a quick text in the morning, a shared coffee break, or the inside jokes that only you two understood. These small moments weave a fabric of connection, grounding them in a sense of familiarity and comfort. Now imagine that fabric unraveling. Without you, their world feels quieter, less vibrant, and strangely incomplete. Why does this happen? Why do we often take the most comforting aspects of our relationships for granted until they're gone? The answer lies in human nature. Familiarity can sometimes lead to complacency. People grow accustomed to having you there, assuming you always will be. The rhythm of shared moments becomes so ingrained in their lives that they stop consciously noticing them. But when you're no longer present, it disrupts that rhythm. Suddenly, they're left with silence where there used to be laughter, or solitude where there used to be companionship. This absence forces them to confront the reality of how much you meant to them. Now, let me ask you this. Who in your life would feel that emptiness if you weren't there tomorrow? What connections have you built that quietly anchor someone else's day? And conversely, whose presence do you take for granted in your own life? These are important questions to reflect on because they reveal the depth and impact of your relationships. Let's consider a scenario. Think about a close friend or family member who has always been there for you. They're the person who listens without judgment, who makes you laugh when you need it most, or who simply sits with you in comfortable silence. Now imagine losing touch with them. At first, you might not feel the full weight of their absence, but over time, as the days turn into weeks, you start to notice the little things. The empty inbox where their messages used to be, the unshared moments that now feel incomplete. This is the emptiness people feel when they start missing you the most. Stoicism offers a valuable perspective here. It teaches us to appreciate the fleeting nature of life and relationships. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." This isn't a call to dwell on loss, but rather a reminder to cherish the present. In the context of relationships, it means being fully present with the people who matter most, and recognizing the significance of the roles we play in each other's lives. Here's another way to look at it. Every interaction you have leaves an impression. The way you show up for others, even in small moments, creates memories that can either comfort them or leave them longing for what once was. Are you living in a way that ensures your presence is felt, not just in the moment, but long after you're gone? The idea of someone missing you might seem bittersweet, but it's also a testament to the value you bring to their life. When their world feels empty without you, it's because you created a space that only you could fill. This realization isn't just about them, it's also about you. It's a call to reflect on the connections you've built and to ensure that you're living with intention and authenticity. But what about the moments when you're the one feeling the emptiness? How do you navigate the void left by someone who once filled your life with meaning? Stoicism teaches us to find strength within ourselves, even as we honor the relationships that shape us. It's a reminder that while we can't control the actions of others, we can control how we respond to their absence. If this reflection resonates with you, like this video and comment number 1 below. Your engagement not only helps us grow this community, but also creates a space for shared wisdom and connection. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join us on this journey of exploring Stoicism, Stoic relationships, and the art of living with intention. Let's delve deeper into what happens when their world feels empty without you. It's not just about the absence of your physical presence, it's about the emotional and mental space you occupied. Maybe you were their confidant, the person they turned to when life felt overwhelming. Or maybe you were the source of their joy, the one who could turn an ordinary day into something special. Without you, those roles remain unfilled, creating a void that's hard to ignore. This realization often hits hardest during moments of transition. A new job, a move to a different city, or even a change in routine can highlight just how much someone relied on you. They might not have noticed it before, but now, with the clarity that comes from distance, they see the full extent of your impact. And it's not just about what you did for them, it's about who you were. Your presence brought something unique and irreplaceable into their life. But here's the thing. Recognizing this isn't just about dwelling on the past. It's about using that awareness to live more fully in the present. If you've been the person who filled someone else's world with light, take pride in that. And if you're reflecting on the ways others have enriched your life, let it be a reminder to express your gratitude. Too often we wait until it's too late to say the things that matter most. As we bring this section to a close, I want to leave you with a challenge. Over the next few days, take some time to reflect on the people who make your world feel full. Who are the constants in your life? The ones who show up for you in ways big and small. And how can you ensure they know how much they mean to you? Before we move on, don't forget to like this video, comment number 1, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue to create content that inspires and empowers, and it ensures you won't miss our next exploration of Stoicism, Stoic relationships, and the principles of living with purpose. 2. When they face challenges without your support. Imagine facing a challenge that feels insurmountable. In the past, there was always someone who would guide you, ground you, or even just listen as you sorted through your thoughts. Now, that person isn't there. That absence, that gap, can feel like the world has shifted, leaving you less prepared, less supported, and more vulnerable. This is one of the most powerful moments when people start missing you the most. When life throws difficulties their way, and your steady presence is no longer part of their safety net. Why does this happen? Why does someone's absence become most apparent in moments of struggle? The answer lies in the way relationships often anchor us during turbulent times. When we're overwhelmed, it's natural to lean on those we trust. These moments reveal how much value the right person adds to our emotional and practical lives. Think back to a time when you were someone's go-to for support. Maybe it was a friend who called you in tears after a tough breakup, or a colleague who leaned on you when their workload felt impossible. You were there, not to solve all their problems, but to listen, offer advice, or simply provide a sense of calm. Now think about what happens when that support disappears. How might they navigate those moments without you? Who fills that void, if anyone? For the person experiencing your absence, the realization often comes as a slow burn. At first, they might try to rely on themselves or find other sources of support. But over time, they notice something crucial is missing. It's not just about the practical help you offered, it's about the emotional safety you created. That's irreplaceable. How many of us take that for granted while it's happening? And how often do we realize its value only after it's gone? Here's the paradox. The more dependable you were, the more likely they are to feel your absence. You became a cornerstone in their life, someone they knew they could count on. When challenges arise, that loss is felt most acutely. What does that say about the way you showed up in their life? And what can it teach you about the role you want to play in your relationships moving forward? The Stoic perspective offers invaluable insights here. Stoicism teaches us that while externals are inevitable, the way we respond to them is within our control. This principle applies to both the person missing you and to you if you've stepped away from their life. For them, it's a lesson in resilience, learning to navigate struggles without depending on someone else. For you, it's a reminder to reflect on the impact you've made. Were you the kind of person whose support genuinely uplifted others? Or were you enabling dependency rather than encouraging growth? Let me ask you something. Who do you lean on during tough times? And who leans on you? These relationships are the backbone of our emotional lives, yet we often overlook their impulse until they're tested. How might your life change if you approach these connections with the intention and mindfulness inspired by Stoic relationships? Let's consider a scenario. A partner who always relied on you for emotional reassurance now finds themselves navigating a difficult day alone. They might try to seek comfort elsewhere, but it doesn't feel the same. Why? Because the history you shared, the trust you built, can't be replicated overnight. This sense of loss can be overwhelming. It's a reminder of how deeply intertwined our lives become with the people who truly care for us. Or think about a work colleague who always sought your advice when they were stuck. Now, without your input, they feel the weight of decisions more heavily. They might miss your clarity, your ability to see solutions where they only see problems. These moments highlight the depth of your contributions, both big and small. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about them missing you. It's also about you recognizing your own strength. The fact that someone feels your absence so deeply means you made a meaningful impact. That's not something to take lightly. How often do we undervalue our own contributions? How many of us fail to see the ripple effects of our presence until someone tells us, "I couldn't have done it without you"? If this resonates with you, it's time to act. Right now, pause for a moment. Reflect on the relationships in your life where you've been a source of support. Who have you helped through tough times? And how might you continue to show up for them in a way that empowers rather than enables? These questions are central to building connections rooted in Stoicism, a philosophy that values strength, resilience, and mutual growth. Of course, there's also a lesson here for those of us who feel the absence of someone we once leaned on. If you're watching this and thinking about someone you've lost touch with, consider this. What would it take to reconnect? How might you express your gratitude for the role they played in your life? And what can you do to build stronger, more reciprocal relationships moving forward? At this point, I want to pause and ask you, are you finding these insights helpful? If you are, like this video and comment number 1 below. Your feedback helps me create more content that resonates with you. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful perspectives on Stoicism, Stoic relationships, and living with intention. As we continue, let's think about the broader implications of this topic. When people miss you during challenging times, it's not just about the comfort you provided, it's about the connection you built. That connection becomes a lifeline during life's storms. But here's the catch. It's not enough to simply be there for others. To live a life inspired by Stoic principles, we must also cultivate our own resilience. We must strive to be a source of strength for ourselves, even as we offer that strength to others. This brings us to an important question. How can you strike that balance? How can you show up for others in a way that enhances their ability to face challenges while maintaining your own emotional well-being? The answer lies in the Stoic practice of self-awareness, By understanding your own limits and setting healthy boundaries, you ensure that your support doesn't come at the expense of your own growth. As we wrap up this section, I encourage you to take a moment of gratitude. Think about the people in your life who have supported you through challenges. If they're still part of your life, let them know what their presence means to you. And if they're not, consider how you can honor their impact by paying it forward, by becoming the kind of person others will miss when they face their own challenges. Finally, let's not forget the importance of building strong, intentional connections in the present. Relationships, like all things in life, are fleeting, but their impact can last a lifetime if we approach them with the principles of Stoicism, gratitude, resilience, and mindfulness. So let me leave you with this thought. Who are you supporting today? And who is supporting you? These relationships define our lives more than we often realize. Cherish them, nurture them, and most importantly, live in a way that ensures your presence is felt even in your absence. If this message resonates with you, make sure to like, comment number 1, and subscribe for more insights on how to build meaningful connections through Stoic relationships and the timeless principles of Stoicism. 3. When they see others experiencing what they had with you. Have you ever walked past a couple laughing together and suddenly been hit with a pang of longing? Or watched a group of friends sharing inside jokes and felt a wave of nostalgia for a connection you once had? It's in these moments, when people witness others experiencing what they had with you, that the reality of your absence becomes undeniable. This is one of the most emotionally charged times, when they start missing you the most, as they're faced with a mirror reflecting what they lost. Why does this happen? Why does seeing someone else's happiness stir feelings of loss? The answer is rooted in comparison and recognition. When people see others enjoying the kind of bond they once shared with you, it brings those memories flooding back. It forces them to confront not just the good times, but also the absence of those moments in their current life. Think about a time in your own life when you saw something that reminded you of a connection you cherished. Maybe it was a specific activity, a favorite restaurant, a mutual hobby, or even just the way someone laughed. Did it make you smile? Did it make you miss that person? It's moments like these that remind us how deeply relationships shape our experiences. This phenomenon can be especially poignant in romantic relationships. Imagine someone you loved seeing another couple walking hand in hand, sharing laughter, or supporting each other through a tough moment. The sight might trigger memories of your shared intimacy, the inside jokes you had, or the way you made them feel understood. These moments act like a spotlight, illuminating the gap you left behind. But this isn't limited to romantic relationships. Friendships and family bonds also leave echoes. A friend who sees a group celebrating together might be reminded of the effortless joy you once shared. A family member watching a warm holiday reunion might recall how you brought energy and connection to gatherings. These glimpses into others' lives highlight not just what they miss, but why they miss you. Let me ask you this. Who in your life would see a part of themselves reflected in others if you weren't there? What memories, habits, or connections have you built that are so unique, so irreplaceable, that their absence leaves a void? These questions aren't meant to be abstract. They're a call to reflection and action. If someone out there is seeing reminders of you in their daily life, how can you honor the impact you've had? Here's the truth. These moments of longing often come with a twinge of regret. They might think about the laughter they didn't appreciate enough, or the times they took your support for granted. This is the beauty and challenge of human relationships. We don't just miss people because they're gone. We miss them because their presence enriched our lives in ways we didn't always recognize at the time. Stoicism teaches us to embrace the impermanence of life. Relationships, like everything else, are fleeting, but within that fleeting nature lies their value. When you live with the principles of Stoic relationships, you approach every connection with presence and gratitude. You savor the moments you have without clinging to them, and when they're gone, you reflect on them with appreciation rather than regret. What would your life look like if you approached all your relationships this way? Here's a story to illustrate this. Imagine a couple who spent years building a life together. They had their ups and downs, but they were always there for each other. One day, the relationship ended. At first, they both moved on, filling their time with work, friends, and hobbies. But then one of them attended a wedding. Watching the couple exchange vows, they felt a rush of memories, the way they used to share dreams for the future, the way they supported each other in times of doubt. That moment of witnessing someone else's joy was a stark reminder of what they had lost. Now think about how often we let these moments pass without reflection. How often do we focus on the loss instead of the lessons? The Stoic approach encourages us to use these moments as opportunities for growth. Instead of dwelling on what's missing, we can ask ourselves, what did this connection teach me? How can I bring that wisdom into my current relationships? And how can I ensure that I show up for the people in my life with the same presence and intention? If you're finding these insights valuable, like this video and comment number 1 below. Your support not only helps spread this message, but it also creates a community of people who value meaningful connections. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join us on this journey of self-discovery and connection through Stoicism and Stoic relationships. Let's dive deeper into why these moments are so impactful. When people see others experiencing what they had with you, it's not just about the memories, it's about the contrast. It highlights the gap between what they once had and what they're missing now. This gap creates an emotional pull, a longing for something that feels both familiar and out of reach. Consider how this plays out in the workplace. A former colleague might see a team celebrating a victory and remember how you always brought energy and collaboration to projects. Or a mentor might watch someone thrive in their role and think about how your questions and insights once pushed them to grow. These moments are a powerful reminder of how much influence we have on others, even when we don't realize it. So how can we use this knowledge to enrich our relationships today? One way is to practice mindfulness. When you're with someone, be fully present. Listen to their stories, celebrate their victories, and support them in their struggles. These are the moments that create lasting impressions. They're also the moments that people remember when they see others experiencing something similar. Another way is to express gratitude. If someone has been a meaningful part of your life, let them know. Write a letter, send a message, or simply tell them in person. These gestures not only strengthen your connection, but also ensure that they feel valued while they're still part of your life. How often do we wait until it's too late to express our appreciation? And what would change if we made gratitude a regular part of our relationships? As we bring this section to a close, I want to leave you with a challenge. Over the next week, pay attention to the moments that remind you of someone you've lost touch with. Whether it's a song, a place, or even a passing interaction, take it as an opportunity to reflect. What made that connection special? How can you honor it in your current relationships? And if the time feels right, consider reaching out. Sometimes a simple message can reignite a connection that feels just as meaningful as it did before. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, comment number 1, and subscribe. Your engagement helps us create more content that inspires and empowers, and it ensures you won't miss future discussions on Stoicism, Stoic relationships, and living with purpose. 4. When they experience success and have no one to celebrate with. Success is a moment of triumph, a culmination of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. But here's a truth many overlook. Success can also be profoundly lonely when there's no one to share it with. It's in these moments, when they achieve something meaningful but find themselves celebrating in solitude, that they start missing you the most. Why is it that happiness often feels incomplete without someone to share it with? The answer lies in the communal nature of joy. Celebrating with others amplifies our sense of achievement. It validates our efforts and strengthens the bond between us and those who celebrate alongside us. But when you're not there, when your absence turns their joy into an echo chamber, it highlights just how much your presence added to their life. Picture this. Someone gets promoted at work, achieves a lifelong goal, or finally reaches a milestone they've been striving toward. As they reflect on their journey, they realize there's no one to turn to, no familiar voice to cheer them on or share in the excitement. That's when they think of you. You were the one who always showed up, who celebrated their wins like they were your own. Without you, the success feels muted, as though a key piece of the puzzle is missing. Have you ever been in a similar situation? Have you achieved something significant, only to find the moment felt hollow because there was no one to share it with? These moments teach us something powerful. The people we celebrate with matter just as much as the achievements themselves. And when they're gone, their absence is felt more acutely than ever. Now let me ask you, who would feel your absence most in their moments of triumph? What role have you played in amplifying someone's joy, and how might that absence change the way they experience their own success? These questions aren't just rhetorical, they're a reminder of the impact you have on others and the importance of nurturing meaningful connections. This dynamic isn't limited to major milestones. It plays out in small, everyday victories as well. Imagine someone trying a new recipe, landing a tricky skill, or even just getting through a tough day at work. These might seem like minor events, but they hold significance when shared with the right person. Your absence in these moments becomes a void, a reminder of the encouragement, validation, and joy you once brought into their life. But here's the irony. While they miss you in these moments, it's also an opportunity for growth. Stoicism teaches us to find strength within ourselves and to navigate life's highs and lows with resilience. When someone achieves success without you there to celebrate, they're forced to confront what it means to find fulfillment internally. This isn't a bad thing. It's a chance for them to grow, to become more self-reliant, and to reflect on what truly matters. At the same time, this realization often brings clarity about the importance of connection. Stoicism reminds us that while we must cultivate inner strength, we are also social beings who thrive on meaningful relationships. Achieving this balance is key to living a fulfilled life. How often do you reflect on your relationships in this way? And how can you ensure that the people in your life feel celebrated and supported in their moments of triumph? Here's an example to consider. Think about a friend who always cheered you on, no matter how small the occasion. They celebrated your new job, your creative wins, and even the times you simply made it through a hard day. Now imagine losing that friend. Suddenly, your victories feel less vibrant, as though the colors have faded. This is the emotional landscape many people face when they start missing someone they once shared their joy with. On the flip side, consider the moments when you've been that person for someone else. Maybe you were the one who sent a congratulatory text, threw a surprise party, or simply showed up with a smile and a hug. These actions, while seemingly small, leave a lasting impression. They create memories that people carry with them, memories that are deeply missed when you're no longer there. Let me ask you something. Are you still showing up for the people in your life? Are you making an effort to celebrate their wins, big or small? These moments don't just strengthen relationships, they also build a legacy of connection that people will remember long after you're gone. If you're finding value in these reflections, like this video and comment number 1 below. Your support helps us build a community of people who value meaningful connections and personal growth. And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay connected as we explore more insights into Stoicism, Stoic relationships, and living with purpose. Let's explore another layer of this dynamic, regret. When people miss you during their successes, it's often accompanied by a sense of regret. They think about the times they didn't fully appreciate your support or the moments they took for granted. Success, after all, is not just about reaching a goal. It's about the journey and the people who walk it with you. And when those people are no longer part of the story, the celebration feels incomplete. But this isn't just about them. It's also about you. When you're no longer part of someone's celebration, it's an opportunity to reflect on how you've shown up in the past and how you want to show up moving forward. Are you cultivating relationships that allow for mutual celebration? Are you building connections that are rooted in gratitude, presence, and joy? These questions are central to the philosophy of Stoic relationships. One practical way to embrace this mindset is to start small. The next time someone in your life achieves something, take the time to celebrate with them. Send a heartfelt message, plan a small get-together, or simply acknowledge their achievement in a meaningful way. These gestures might seem minor, but they create a ripple effect that strengthens your bond and leaves a lasting impression. Another way is to reflect on the people who have celebrated your successes in the past. Have you expressed your gratitude for their presence? Have you made an effort to reciprocate their support? If not, it's never too late to start. Reach out, reconnect, and rebuild those bridges. After all, relationships are a two-way street, and the effort you put in will often be returned tenfold. As we wrap up this section, I want to leave you with a challenge. Over the next week, think about the people who have been part of your journey. Who has celebrated your wins? And who have you celebrated in return? Take a moment to express your gratitude, whether through words, actions, or both. And if there's someone you've lost touch with, consider reaching out. A simple message can reignite a connection and remind them of the joy you once shared. Before we continue, don't forget to like this video, comment number 1, and subscribe for more insights into building meaningful connections through Stoicism and Stoic relationships. Your engagement helps us create a space where we can learn, grow, and connect together. 5. When time reveals what they took for granted. Time has a way of revealing the truths we often overlook. In the whirlwind of daily life, people tend to take the presence of others for granted. The routines, the support, and even the smallest gestures become so familiar that they fade into the background. But as time passes, and as the absence of those connections becomes more apparent, people begin to realize what they've lost. This is when they start missing you the most, when time forces them to confront what they took for granted. Why does this happen? Why do we so often fail to appreciate the people who matter most until they're gone? The answer lies in the human tendency to prioritize the urgent over the important. We get caught up in the immediate demands of life, work, errands, distractions, and neglect the quieter, more enduring aspects of our relationships. But when those relationships are no longer part of our lives, their true value comes into focus. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever looked back on a relationship, a friendship, or even a brief connection, and realized how much it meant to you? Have you found yourself wishing you had said thank you more often, or spent more time being present? These moments of clarity can be bittersweet, but they're also an opportunity to learn and grow. For the person missing you, this realization can come in many forms. It might be triggered by a memory, a song you used to share, a place you used to go, or even just a scent that reminds them of you. Or it might come in the quiet moments when they're reflecting on their life and recognizing the impact you had. In these moments, they're faced with the truth. They didn't fully appreciate you while you were there, and now they can't go back and change it. Let me ask you this: who in your life might be taking you for granted right now? And more importantly, who might you be taking for granted? These aren't easy questions, but they're essential if we want to build stronger, more meaningful connections. How can we live in a way that ensures we don't leave behind a trail of missed opportunities and unspoken gratitude? Stoicism offers a powerful framework for navigating these challenges. It reminds us to live with intention, to focus on what truly matters, and to approach every relationship with gratitude and presence. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's great philosophers, wrote, "Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Be good for something while you live, and it is in your power." This isn't a call to live in fear of loss, but rather to embrace the fleeting nature of life and relationships. What would change if you approached your connections with this mindset? Consider a scenario where someone took you for granted. Maybe it was a partner who assumed you'd always be there to support them, or a friend who leaned on you without recognizing your own struggles. Over time, they might have come to see your efforts as a given rather than a gift. But now, with the passage of time and the clarity it brings, they're beginning to realize just how much you gave. This realization can be humbling, even painful. It's a stark reminder of how deeply our actions, or inactions, shape the way others perceive and miss us. But this isn't just about others. It's also about you. How often do you pause to reflect on the people in your life and the roles they play? Are you truly present in your interactions, or are you letting the busyness of life overshadow your ability to connect? The truth is, none of us are immune to taking others for granted. The question is, what are we going to do about it? If you're finding value in this reflection, take a moment to like this video and comment number 1 below. Your feedback helps us continue to explore these important topics and create a community of thoughtful, intentional individuals. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join us on this journey of self-discovery and connection through Stoicism and Stoic relationships. Let's delve deeper into the emotions that come with these realizations. For many, the experience of missing someone they took for granted is layered with regret. They might wish they had expressed their gratitude more often or spent more time being present. They might think about the times they prioritized trivial matters over meaningful connections and wonder what might have been different if they had made other choices. But Stoicism teaches us not to dwell on regret. Instead, it encourages us to focus on what we can control in the present. If you're feeling the weight of someone's absence, ask yourself, what lessons can I take from this experience? How can I apply those lessons to my current relationships so I don't repeat the same mistakes? And if the opportunity exists, how might you reconnect with the person you miss and express the gratitude you didn't show before? One of the most profound ways to honor the people we've lost or taken for granted is by living with greater intention in the present. When you approach your relationships with mindfulness and gratitude, you create a legacy of connection that goes beyond the fleeting nature of life. You ensure that your presence is felt, not just in the moment, but long after you're gone. Here's another question to consider. What are you leaving behind in the hearts of the people you care about? Are you creating memories and connections that will stand the test of time? Or are you letting the distractions of life get in the way of what truly matters? These reflections are at the core of Stoic relationships, which prioritize depth, meaning, and mutual growth over superficial interactions. As we bring this section to a close, I want to leave you with a challenge. Over the next few days, take some time to reflect on the people in your life who has made an impact on you, and how can you express your gratitude for their presence? And if there's someone you've lost touch with, consider reaching out. A simple gesture, a message, a call, or even just a heartfelt note can make all the difference. Finally, don't forget to like this video, comment number 1, and subscribe. Your engagement helps us build a community where we can learn from each other, grow together, and explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. They start missing you the most not during the grand milestones or loud goodbyes, but in the quiet, subtle moments of life. It's in the emptiness of their daily routines, the challenges they face alone, the joy they can't share, the reminders of what they had with you, and the clarity that only time can bring. These are the spaces where your presence mattered most, where you weren't just someone they knew, but someone who shaped their life in meaningful, unforgettable ways. But here's the deeper truth. These moments aren't just about them missing you. They're about the legacy you've left behind and the lessons you can carry forward into your relationships today. Understanding when and why people miss you is more than a reflection on the past. It's a call to action for the present. It's an invitation to live with more intention, to connect more deeply, and to show up in ways that truly matter. Let me ask you this. How are you showing up in the lives of the people who matter to you? Are you building relationships rooted in gratitude, presence, and authenticity? Or are you letting the busyness of life overshadow the connections that make it meaningful? These aren't easy questions, but they're the kind that can transform the way you approach your relationships, and by extension, your life. Stoicism teaches us to embrace the fleeting nature of everything, including relationships. It encourages us to live fully in the present, to appreciate what we have while we have it, and to let go of regret when things inevitably change. This mindset doesn't make loss or absence any less real, but it does help us find strength, purpose, and peace in the face of it. As you reflect on the 5 moments we've explored today, consider how you can bring the principles of Stoic relationships into your own life. What steps can you take to ensure that your presence is a source of light for others? And how can you cultivate connections that feel meaningful, both for you and for those around you? Here's a practical challenge. Take a moment to reach out to someone who has been a significant part of your life. It could be a friend you've lost touch with, a family member you've grown distant from, or even someone you see every day but haven't fully appreciated. Send them a message, give them a call, or simply tell them how much they mean to you. These small acts of gratitude can create ripples that strengthen your relationships and leave a lasting impact. If you've been reflecting on your own experiences of missing someone or being missed, take this as an opportunity to grow. Missing someone is a testament to the connections that shape us, but it's also a reminder to live more intentionally in the present. Use this awareness to build a life filled with meaningful relationships, guided by the wisdom of Stoicism. Before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like this video and comment number 1 below if you found value in this discussion. Your engagement helps us create a community where we can share insights, support one another, and explore the timeless principles of Stoicism and Stoic relationships. And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay connected and continue this journey with us. Thank you for being part of this conversation, for reflecting on your own connections, and for seeking to live with greater intention. I appreciate you, and I'm excited to hear about the ways you're putting these ideas into practice. Until next time, take care, and remember, the best time to show up for the people who matter to you is always right now.